there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Another win. Unbelievably, 2 wins out of 2 after the terrible results that we had previously to that. This time against Newcastle. Newcastle in the news, hugely in the news, as everyone knows. So we'll be talking about that, I'm sure. Joined by Adam, first time on the show. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Excellent. If you watch any Spurs stream at all, you'll know Adam. He's always in the comments, always giving support. So, on behalf of all the Spurs community, thank you so much, Adam, and thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on,
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. Also got Jay, who's a Newcastle fan from Vetro NUFC. How you doing, Jay? Hope you're not. We'll be nice. There'll be no bragging too much.
They'll be bragging.
I'm very interested to get you. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Tottenham perspective. Very interested to get the perspective from a Newcastle fan and from the takeover and the owners. And then also joined by Jonathan Blondell's biggest fan, Bob. How you doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. 3 points, 10 goals in 3 games, a 3-2 thrashing of Newcastle United. We're winning the league, mate. We're winning the league.
It's cool when I keep quadruple.
Yeah, that's it.
I wouldn't go that far, but hopefully Matt will be joining us a bit later on. But first things first, I'll come to you, Jay, as a Newcastle fan. Obviously, your takeover has all been in the news. That's pretty much for about a week. We've obviously had our thoughts here. Obviously, the human rights issues are a big area of contention as well. What are your thoughts on the takeover? I'm assuming you're absolutely over the moon with it, that the fact that you've got rid of Mike Ashley, which is kind of the Daniel Levy-esque. What are your thoughts on the takeover?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. The news came out last week. I was just buzzing. When I heard that Ashley's going to get in, I wanted him out with 14 years of dross. But that idiot, I won a football club, never got these owners, and I was just amazed how we got it through. In about 18 months of hell. The hell was hard. It was just getting it done and getting new owners in was just, it made every Newcastle fan happy around the northeast, and it almost was buzzing. Going up and get drinking and just mint yesterday yesterday before the game was just mad. Shit, everyone had a good time and just celebrating it. It's fans around the northeast. Absolutely amazing.
What do you think their first point of call will be? Obviously, they can't make any signings until January. Do you think that there'll be signings in January?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some new players in. Hopefully we'll sign 7 new players. We need to sort the squad out. It needs sorting out. Get rid of the dead wood of this club. Get rid of the players we don't need. New players come in and see what we can do in January. And the money we get.
Excellent. What are your thoughts on Steve Bruce?
Well, that competent idiot. Not for me, I want out. He needs to go out of this club. He's just ruining it since he's been. He's not a manager for us. We want him gone. Every fan said it after the game. Because when I said it, we want him gone. He doesn't know what to do. He hasn't got a clue with the team and the setup. He doesn't care at all. I watched his press conference last week for the Tottenham game. He was just not even interested in the game, really. So,
what do you think? What do you think, Adam, on Steve Bruce? Obviously, I don't think he's a Premiership level manager, but he is Newcastle manager at the moment. I think he'll go, but do you think he should go now, or do you think they'll keep him a little bit longer? You there, Adam?
Oh, sorry. You're asking me?
Oh, yeah.
You're asking Jay, I know, unfortunately. If you ask me personally, I'm not a Newcastle fan, but Steve Bruce is just lost it now at this point. I really don't think he's going to take Newcastle out of their relegation strip. So I reckon now. I think that's 8 games now. 7 or 8 games they've gone on without a win. I hate to give anyone here watching like PTSD flashbacks, but it really does remind me of our form back in that at the start of that 08-09 season when like we didn't win anything in 8 games. Like, so I mean, and we got rid of our manager then, and we got the right man in, like, and before we knew it, we were like in the Champions League spot. So, I mean, especially with this Saudi takeover, like if Newcastle can maybe sack Bruce now and get like, I don't think like maybe like a person like Conte will come in just yet, like, but maybe a nice stopgap manager like can come in, take over from Bruce, and at least lift Newcastle out of like the relegation zone and get them to a respectable place in the table before eventually managers like Conte can come in like and start challenging for maybe even the title in 5 years' time. We'll see.
Yeah, what do you think, Bob? What do you think of their manager? Do you think it'll be a Conte come in with keep us up promise of 500 million transfers, or do you think it'll be stay with Bruce and then in the summer?
No,
massive
I think Jay said, it's only a matter of time before he's gone. It's a case of how long they keep him. I've got a funny feeling they'll probably keep him till Jan. It's one of those, isn't it? Do you bring a manager in now so he can put his marker down with regards to what kind of players he wants in? Or do you just stay with Bruce and take your time getting the right man in? Conte's not a man who's going to come in halfway through the season, and there's not any other people out there apart from Fonseca. So, yeah, I mean, it's very unlikely that a £320 billion owner's going to keep a Steve Bruce. It's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. So they need a big manager. They just have to time it right. And the reason why I'm happy about yesterday is it's probably the last time we fucking beat them. So to make the most of it. Make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, you obviously want Bruce out. I watched your show earlier on. The links in the description at the end will go through all the YouTube channels. Steve Bruce goes tomorrow. Who do you want?
For me, I'll put Lampard in for now. Get Lampard in. He did what at Chelsea. He did really well. He didn't have any money. He brought the youth players in like Mason Mount. Reece James came in. He brought the youth into it, and he did really well. He got the Derby as well, did well as well. Give him a chance at our club or Eddie Howe, but not Conte for now because Conte won't cut a minute. I think it'd be too much to come in for now, but bring Lampard or Eddie Howe in for now and see what they want to do, their ideas.
Would Lampard and Howe be your kind of Mark Hughes at City manager, steady the ship, and then kind of progress, and then you bring in your Conte, the man who needs to go and win the stuff? Would that be how you want you guys to progress in the next time in 5 years?
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, get to it then to win for now, then see what happens in the next 5 years.
Jay, a lot of talk on Steven Gerrard.
Stevie G, he said no to the job, but if he wants to come down to Newcastle, I would take him hands down. He went to Rangers in Scotland. He's doing really well there. I'm proud of him. He's a Newcastle fan because he's doing brilliant there. He won the league with them. He beat the rival Celtic, so he's doing really well there. He's got a built team, a good fan base behind him, but would he couldn't cancel? I don't know. It's up to him. We didn't decide that. We can't have to decide that, so it's up the manager.
He might go to Newcastle if he really wants to challenge. Like, I mean, if he ever gets sick of winning up in Scotland all the time, like he might come down to you.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. All he does, Adam. All he does, but it's up to the owners and the chairman decide that. So hopefully, we bring someone in at Egg or someone big. Don't know who going to be, but surprises. He can't surprise me. I surprise them on the day. See what happens.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just a quick up on the chat. THFC Kirst, how you doing? Thanks for watching. She's mentioned there's a bit of background noise. I can't figure out where that is. But yeah, apologies for that. But as long as she can still hear us, and that'll hopefully be okay. But yeah, January is obviously, Jay, where you're going to make your mark, I would have thought. I mean, I can't imagine that you're going to leave it all the way until summer to start making signings. But I mean, if you were the chairman, what in January would you be doing for? Let's say manager in the League One. What do you do in January?
Players first, I'll bring in a couple of defenders. Dennis Tarkowski from Burnley, he'd be good defender for that replace Russell. We need defenders, midfielders, we need a new forward as well. We need our striker because we need someone who can place Connor Wilson. But see what happens. But I'll bring in Tarkowski, hopefully Aaron Ramsey. Big names still on with. But I don't know. I don't know who we're bringing in, but some players like that. Hopefully being back. I might be bringing back Gino Waldham, but when he come back to Newcastle, I don't know. Could just saying for PSG and there's some other. But see what happens in January with the division.
Well, it's going to be interesting how much you spend in January and how much you spend in the summer. But obviously, there was a game yesterday. I think Spurs fans were quite worried. Newcastle are kind of a bit of a bogey team, but the game, the ownership, and everything, it kind of isn't really that important when you consider that yesterday, just before half time, someone almost died. Thankfully, he's okay. Kirst has pretty much echoed that. Happy with our win yesterday, more happy that he's doing okay. And I mean, Dyer and Reguilon get quite a lot of flack from Spurs fans for their performances on a football pitch, quite rightly so. But I mean, their quick thinking, composure, and yesterday, Reguilon first to alert the referee, Dyer to then alert the medical team on the bench. And that there was a Newcastle fan, I think, not too far behind the person in question who was a heart doctor who helped as well. It's things like this that the football world comes together and kind of disagrees with the stereotype that footballers are idiots and all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, as long as he's doing okay, that's good. But it keeps happening though, doesn't it, Adam? You had Ericsson, you've had Mwamba.
Yeah, Mwamba, yeah.
Hugo Ekiog if you take away the football pitch, but on a training pitch. I mean, sometimes these players are too fit, and then fans, I mean, is it a health issue?
I honestly don't know what's going on. Like, big up Tommy as well. But like, I mean, like,
boys, how's it going, boys?
We're fine. Just talking about the poor fan who nearly died yesterday. Anyway, though, I think it depends on the person really. Like, but like you said with the players, it's because they're too fit, like they're hyper fit, so their heart doesn't like work properly. Wasn't the case with Ericsson and Mwamba, I think. But that fan could have really had anything wrong with them, really. Like, they could have had a history of heart problems and stuff like. But I mean, look, the main thing is they're alive, and they're making a recovery, like, and actually, just to put kind of like maybe just even the slight positive thing on this, like between like those three you mentioned, Ericsson, Mwamba, and this fella, thankfully all three of them survived their heart attacks. Not the cardiac arrest, like.
Yeah, I mean, evening, Tommy. How you doing?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. Not too bad.
This
I
poor
haven't
guy,
finished the stream.
This poor guy, thankfully, is okay. But I mean, it's becoming more and more commonplace, isn't it? I mean, David Ginola said it on punditry, didn't he? That everyone needs to learn CPR. I learned CPR at college and then saw someone collapse and literally froze and didn't know what to do. So it's this was years ago, yeah. But yeah, it needs to be taught, presumably, right? I was just lucky that there was a heart surgeon or a heart doctor behind the guy in question.
Oh, is that what happened? Is that really what happened? Is that actually what happened?
But apparently, yeah. Before Dyer obviously got to the bench and told the medical teams to come over. But,
I mean, as Adam said, it's just great. It's just great that he survived. You know, Ericsson survived. It could have been very, very different. It could have worked out very, very different without a defibrillator. So that's amazing news. I'm sure the game wouldn't have gone ahead if it was fatal. If it was fatal, I'm sure the game had to be cancelled, really, didn't it? We couldn't care less about the actual game in that situation. But it's just great. It's just great for all parties that everyone come out unscathed in the end. Well, I will say, we were talking about it yesterday on a stream, me and Bob, and it's common sense. You've got to have a defibrillator, not just in every stadium, but every corner of every stadium.
Yeah.
Even on the street.
I don't understand that. I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I mean, Bob, do you think that will happen? Being that Ericsson, what was that, June? Not that long ago. Now we've had this 4 months later. Do you think that will happen?
Yeah, I think it should be happening before the realization comes that it should be happening. You know, we've got medical boxes, the green boxes with the crosses on everywhere, every corner of the stadium. With the amount of money that's involved in football, there's absolutely no reason why a stadium can't afford 20 or 30 defibs that should be potted around the stadium. Why it's happening more often, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that everything's a lot more exposed now. Everything's in the public eye. You know, who's to say that there haven't been heart attacks previously at games? But there's hardly any cameras there. Apparently, there was a collapse in a Luton game about 2-3 weeks ago. No one knows about that. No. So it is common. I think the more exposure life gets, the more common it will feel to us, because I speak from experience. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah, well, hopefully this again. Just I mean, sad that this thing happens, and then that's what creates the awareness of it. It should be awareness anyway. But thankfully he's okay. The game carried on. But Jay, obviously, your fans, as pretty much anyone in football knows, would have been up for this, and they were up for this. The noise before the game was unbelievable. The one thing you do as an away team is you shut the crowd up early doors. You do not give them a goal after a minute and let them carry on cheering. That's what happened. But then it kind of went completely different for you guys. So, I mean, the start was what you guys wanted, but then what happened in the game to let us back in the game? Or was it Tottenham got ourselves back into the game, Newcastle let us into the game? What happened from your point of view?
Yeah, we were just shocking from when we scored the goal. We were just sitting back. Steve wasn't getting instructions properly. The captain wasn't even shouting. We were just sitting back to let Tottenham through to get the goal. But we were just shocking from the start. We had a great start, but then what actually went wrong, because they both not giving instructions to the players. He was standing there looking, why am I here? We need to focus on the next game, but we just started great and we just went wrong after that. When we went downhill, we were just sitting back and we were cutting through.
Do you think the occasion got to the players of the magnitude of what's happening at Newcastle?
Yeah, I think it was, with the fan being the heart attack and all that must have got the players heart to heart. But everyone's got Newcastle minute, it's been bad. But we need, this was a heart attack happening. The players were quite worried about it. From my side, but they sorted out. Say what, he's fine now, but we need to get this team built again and hopefully get a first another season on the board. But we won't get that far.
Yeah, I mean, if you score goals and you obviously have an attacking threat, Tommy, I know for a fact, is a huge San Maximin fan. If you get him on the ball, you've really got a chance of doing some stuff with Callum Wilson, sort of stuff out. Do you think you'll stay up? Well, we'll be outside the relegation zone before January.
Yeah, we need to stay up. If we don't stay up, something's going on at the club. We need to stay up. Because if we stay up now, we get this new manager in, stay up, get mid-table. Hopefully, I would say 16 or 17 or 10th, but we won't get that far. But hopefully, mid-table, get out of the relegation battle. Because we should be going down. We're to the world. We should be winning these games. Yesterday, we should win yesterday, but we didn't. We did it in the wrong way. For a lot of games, we haven't been winning. Should win against Watford, but we haven't been that way. However, some of us been tough for us. But that's what we're about. Get over the Deadwood.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, from a great start for Newcastle, terrible start from Tottenham, but I thought it was, I wouldn't say our best performance of the season, but one of our best performances of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you shut the crowd up early doors. We didn't. We gave them a 1-0 win. But then I thought for the next 5 minutes, Newcastle were on the up. But then we did shut them up. Then we got our goal. Then we got our second. And then obviously the incident happened. But obviously before the incident, we had shut the crowd up. Do you think it's one of those cases where, you know, you need that kind of, you've lost a goal to give you a bit of a kick up the backside and go, okay, we need to buck up here and show what we're capable of. And do you think if it had been 0-0 after, I don't know, 15 minutes, it would have just been one of these boring games, we wouldn't have attacked with the threat that we did? Or do you think the fact that Newcastle seems so open, I mean, Ndombele, who we'll talk about later, I mean, he could have had a cup of tea and a shower every time he got the ball and still not been closed down. So do you think we'd have attacked like that anyway? Or do you think it was a bit of a kick up the backside and a rocket up the backside, the goal for Newcastle?
I think it was definitely more of a rocket up the backside. Actually, with the way we played afterwards, it was more like a nuclear bomb up the backside. It reminded me like, it was like, it reminded me actually a lot how we responded against Villa once they got the equaliser. And the team's base said, no, we're not going through this again. And they went up the pitch like just a few seconds later and banged one in. Like, we want to see more of that like fight back in them like throughout the rest of the season now. Like that's what we've been missing, especially in those dreadful 3 games, which I just don't want to even think about them anymore at this stage. And now if it had been 0-0, I don't think we would have been played that good, or at least I don't think we would have played it as good as that, that quickly. But I think we would have definitely gotten like 1 or 2 like eventually, even after the incident. Like.
Yeah. I mean, Tommy, were you surprised at how quickly we hit back? Not in terms of the goal, but how we fashioned some chances, got our foot on the ball, kind of dictated a bit of the play after the goal, considering that we have had 3 games this season where we've been ripped apart, 3 goals. I mean, a hostile atmosphere as well. Newcastle are always going to be fired up for that. And it's very rare that you see Ant and Dec on TV if it's not ITV. So you know it's a big game for Newcastle and a big day for Newcastle with Ant and Dec on another channel. And obviously that goal fired them up even more. And it could have been a case if this was a month ago where we were playing the Palaces, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, that we could have been out of sight, that Newcastle could have been out of sight, after about 20 minutes. So were you surprised at how we fought back and got the game back into our favour, or did you think Newcastle was so open and it was always going to come, like Adam said?
Yeah, I mean, as Adam said with Villa, we showed signs that there was a reaction. There was a reaction to the team going behind. I think that was the best thing that come out of the Villa game. Obviously, getting the 3 points, but when we went, we sort of when we drew 1-1. When they got the go back, Villa, we sort of went for it. We went back on the front foot and went for that second goal. And we sort of done that here. We done that here when we went 2-1 up, 3-1 up. So and we done that when we went 1-0 down. The reaction was quick. It was fast, and I'm pretty sure that every Spurs fan watching that with it, they were at the stadium or whatever, thought this is going to be a long day. This is going to be a long night.
I did after 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I thought this is going to be anything if we don't buck our ideas up.
And I don't think, you know what? I don't think anybody was to blame. I don't think for the goal anyone was that much to blame. I think Royal messed about with a little bit with the ball, but Romero wasn't to blame.
Where he stood still, didn't he? You've got to be aware of.
He did stand still a little bit.
Stood still.
Yeah, I used some visuals. I just used some visuals in the stream I did, and when I actually looked at it, it was sort of Royal should have marked him. I think Romero thought that Royal Romero. I'm just going to call it Emerson. Emerson. I think Romero thought Emerson had him, and so he looked over his shoulder, took a quick glance, and thought, Emerson's got him, And then he didn't. He lost him. Callum Wilson came forward and knocked it in. I thought it was brilliant striker play from Callum Wilson. And I don't think Romero can be too much to blame. They were out the blocks fast. I mean, we saw the atmosphere beforehand. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous, the scenes there. We saw how happy the Saudis were and how sad they were very fast. You know, they were sleeping after 20, 25 minutes. They were fast asleep by the looks of things. It looks like they gave up as well. But no, the reaction was brilliant. The reaction when it was 1-1 against Villa was great. And there's something happening. There's certainly something happening. And Nuno's changing his philosophy, it seems. He's changing his philosophy even from Wolves. He's going back to he's changing it to something that he's never done before. He's adapting his game. He knows that the Arsenal game was a shocker. He had to change things. The second half of that Arsenal game, he took Dele off. Dele hasn't returned, and that was the start for me. That was the start. 4-2-3-1, taking Dele off, and the team are reacting now. They're reacting, and that was the best thing to come out of yesterday's game, and the fact that when we were 3-1 up, we were still on the front foot. I know they got one back and took it back to 3-2, but even 3-1, we were still on the front foot. So there's reaction to this team. It seems like there's some fight in us at last.
Yeah, I mean, Simply Ace has just said here. Cheers for watching, by the way. It was a good performance defensively. We nearly blew it at the end. We still need to improve defensively. Had there been another 5 minutes, we may have drawn that game. Possibly. But in terms of going forward, Bob, I thought we were trying to score the perfect goal in the second half. Just get the ball in the net, 4-5, then you can go and try and score a world-class goal, get goal of the season. There was a bit where Højbjerg should have played it to Kane on the outside and made a lung burst and run outside of him. And he's played it to Son, which is fine. He's played it to Son, which is fine, but Son's got about 3 players around him. It needed to be to Kane. And trying to score the perfect goal. But do you think if there had been another 5 minutes, we'd have just sorted that out? And who are your star performers for us? I think I can guess a few, and I've put banners on here. We'll talk about them later. But who are the star performers in a Spurs shirt, obviously?
I've heard that narrative that Simply Ace has just put in. If it was another 5 minutes, why we could have scored another 2 or 3 goals in the 5 minutes the way we were playing beforehand. So it's one of those if and buts. It was. I'm sure Jay might agree with this or might not agree with this, but Newcastle are going to go places. They're going to buy players. They're going to be successful. They're going to win cups probably before Spurs. But let's be honest right now, and I said this before the game and I've said it since the game, at the moment they've got a shit team and they've got a shit manager. We've got the better players and we were always going to win that game yesterday. I said 4-1 before the game. We did score 4 goals technically. One of them were on our own side, but we've got the better players, we've got the better team, and after Villa, it was a case of that was the only question: can we kick it on from Villa? And it was, in my eyes, a 3-2 thrashing. It was probably one of the most comfortable games we've ever played. Yeah, of course, Dyer's mistake or whatever, he should have done better. Looking at it today, but. It was a thoroughly deserved win. There's no way Newcastle could go away thinking, we should have got this and that out of it. And I said it before, we've got the better players. If they play, we'll beat them, and we'll beat them comfortably. We've got to stand back and look at the bigger picture. They're second from bottom for a reason. Steve Bruce has spoken about he is a championship manager. Should Newcastle be surprised? I'm sure Jay's not surprised that he was incapable of changing the onslaught and the comfortable possession. They were chasing shadows. And it just shows what a big job the new owners have, which I'm sure they'll rectify. But yesterday, like I say, fill up the stadium all you want. Bring in all the billionaire fake fans. I mean, that was embarrassing though. They were trying to celebrate a goal or a missed chance and then falling asleep. It was. I'm
not sure Newcastle have fake fans. They could be in a conference.
No. I mean the owners. I see. Yeah.
They've got to be seen celebrating, haven't they? They can't be going, wow, what time's Corey on?
Yeah, so someone had to come down and explain to one of them what a red card was. I mean, that's everything.
Oh my God.
But
really?
But yeah,
oh my.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we were always going to beat them yesterday, and it shouldn't come as a surprise. But players that stood out for me, I've said this on Twitter as well. Ollie Skip has probably become one of the most important players in our team right now. He makes Højbjerg and Ndombele better players. He's one of those players that will miss if he doesn't play. He's not gonna win man of the match. He's not gonna stand out with back heels and flicks and dribbles like an Ndombele. But I tell you what, mate, he's so important. He plays with such maturity as well. And single-handedly, he was the best midfielder on that pitch yesterday. Højbjerg's coming into his game a lot more. He's playing the Denmark role a lot more because of Skip. And Ndombele seems to have been playing with a bit more freedom. So for me, yeah, everyone had a really good game. But Skip is slowly but surely becoming our most important player in the team right now. And an upcoming is 20-1 to get in the England squad. I put 20 quid on it today. It's 20-1. I put 20 quid on it to be in the World Cup England squad. I think that's not bad odds. Do it while you can.
Yeah,
He can get in front of Henderson, can't he? He can get in front of Henderson. You'd imagine Henderson's legs are going now, so you'd imagine he'd get in front of Henderson.
Yeah, because Henderson's not getting any younger. Like he's been around for a while. Like
it's still a year. He's still a year away, another year to develop. And if he's developing as quickly as he has in 7 games, then 8 games now, then things are looking rosy.
It will come in for Calvin Phillips, and is he better than Calvin Phillips at the moment? Yeah, hands down he is. Of course he is. He's playing better than Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, Simply Ace is glad that you're gassed over that performance. I'm not sure if that's sarcastic or not, but I mean, Simply Ace, we lose all these games. 3 in a row. We're going to be happy when we win and we scored 3 goals. But Jay, do you agree with what Bob said? Were you surprised that you lost that game? Did you expect us to win that game beforehand, or did you expect the joy and the fans, the 12th man essentially, to kind of carry you through? What were your expectations going into the game? And
I thought we were the game quite strong, but look at the lineup we had out. Joe Willett was good yesterday. You know, he was all right, but the second half for Sarri was just disgusting. He shouldn't have done what he did. He was just had no clue. He got sent off. It's our fault.
He's done that before, hasn't he?
He did not in the first place, but yeah, but we were just the game was. I thought we were going to game. Yeah, the team just came out. Thought we're going to win it. We didn't. We deserved to get beat. We've been terrible all season. You know, I agree with Bob and say, we're just a terrible club. We've got shit players. We need something. But where's it going to come from? The guys that you a lot, you've got like some Man City, you've got Man United. Look at them. They've got good players. What we've got Woody, St. Maxim and Amrod, who are the best players we've got in the pitch.
It's only one game that they've been in charge, but do you think any of your players yesterday kind of stood out and said to the owners, we've got to keep that guy?
The best player sort of for me, I would say, was Maximin and Maximin, Connor Wilson and Bulletin played a good game as well. But for me, yesterday, the best player of the pitch was Maximin of all of them. But we weren't trying. We thought, Steve, we need to tell the owners, you know what, now need to tell right. Come on, now get the manager sacked, get him out of that club.
They've got a big job, haven't they, Jay? They've got a big job, mate.
Yeah, because you look at your lot, Tottenham. I mean, you know, I don't really watch Tottenham a lot, but look at us. We've been brought out by a new owner, Saudis. And we as fans, we're all grateful we got it because we've been through hell for 14 years, I think, actually. And it's just great we've got new owners in. But the club going forward, we need to win. Trophies as well, big money get present in January, new players in, see what we can buy, but still available in January. We don't know yet. But
do you agree with Danny Murphy, Jay? He was saying he doesn't think that you'll buy players in January because there's still, unless something changes, there's still the risk of relegation, so they won't want to come huge players like that and then potentially get relegated. So he thinks it'll be loans, so you could get big players on a loan and then if it does go south and you get relegated, then they still go back to their club. But do you think it'll be loans? Do you think you'll get big players? Do you think it'll be lesser players? What do you think will happen in January in the caliber of players and type of deals that you'll get over the line? Because there'll be incoming. There's got to be.
I don't really. Danny Murphy for me, he just talks out his mind. For me, really, he simply said Newcastle off because he didn't play for Newcastle. He played for Fulham. He doesn't know everything about our club in the first place. So yeah, we can go big in January. We can sort Danny Murphy up, show him how we can buy a player in January. But Danny Murphy, for me, he's simply saying comments about if we're saying something about his former club. I mean, it's just how it is. But we got to get big players. We need some big players and we need some new signings, new players to get this team up and running again. So,
do you think they'll build a team around Maximin because he is
Maximin, Wilson,
going forward? He's your threat, isn't he? When he plays well, you create chances. Do you think they'll build a team around him?
Yeah, I think they need to around Wilson and Maximin and Willock. Build it around them three. And Amron as well, when he gets back, get around them for. We need a lot better forward. We need someone like that to get around them three players, them four, to get someone who can work with them four together as a team. Because we're not been that great since the start of the season. It's been up and down.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, Ndombele, as Bob has said, looked fantastic. Maybe that's a bit over the top. It's been one game, but he looked really interested again. And that third goal, all of our top four were involved in that heavily. And all throughout the game, our top four were massively involved. Ndombele's got the first goal. Kane's got the second goal. Moura instrumental in the third goal, which was along with Ndombele and Kane crossing it to Son, who's scored the goal for the fourth. Do you think that's kind of the way that Nuno will play that front four going forward? Or do you think it was a case that they looked good because Newcastle either just let the midfield have time and space to just turn, or they played a high line? And Jay mentioned about Steve Bruce not having a clue. If you play a high line when Kane and Son are playing, you only have to have a look at that Southampton game last year where they just picked him off at will. But yeah, do you think we looked good because Newcastle's midfield weren't pressing and the defence were kind of off the pace, or do you think we were that good and we made Newcastle look that bad?
I honestly think both. Sure enough. I mean, if you play a high line against that front four, you're just asking for or pacing. But at the same time, those players played good and they linked up well. I remember for I think it was Son's goal. I just love seeing Kane and Son link up again and Kane getting that assist, as well as that unbelievable goal, which I'm just never going to forget. By the way, I mean that was beautiful. And so was Bele's as well. I mean, both those goals were just class altogether. And to be fair, I don't want to alarm anyone, but I think Ndombele actually lasted more than 60 minutes in that game. I think he lasted the whole game. Am I dreaming? I mean, if I'm dreaming, it's a very good dream. Don't get me wrong.
He probably had the defibrillator half time. He probably had the defibrillator half time because he's never lasted that long, has he?
I think he played a couple of 90 minutes under Mourinho, didn't he, towards the end?
I think. Do you know what I think he has in Europa League this season? I think Nuno he played against Rennes 90 minutes or something like that. So yeah, exactly. So at least that's a big plus, isn't it? The fact that he's getting 90 minutes.
The fact we're celebrating the fact is he's completely 90 minutes says a lot.
it's worrying in itself. It's like we're celebrating that you made 90 minutes. It is worrying.
That needs to stop. We just need to take it for granted. Because if we're putting on a player knowing he's only going to be given 70 minutes, we're already using up one sub before the game started. So 90 minutes should be the least he should be given. Especially in a game like yesterday where, let's be honest, we weren't chasing the ball. We had possession. We were dictating the speed of the game. So everyone saved a bit of legs, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy, I remember talking to you not that long ago. We were saying Lo Celso in for Ndombele because he works harder for the team, and then Ndombele goes and puts that performance in. But like Bob says there, he didn't really have to chase back a huge amount. West Ham is going to be, you'd expect, very different, certainly at their ground. That front four, would you go with that front four, or as much as you can the same team that started against Newcastle? Or would you go a bit more conservative with Lo Celso in for Ndombele? I think we've all agreed that Ali is way down in the pecking order now in that position. So he's going to have to wait for injuries or really impress in training and take his chance. But yeah, what did you make of Ndombele? And do you think it was him playing well, Newcastle playing bad, and for West Ham, do you think he deserves another shot in that position, being that, like Bob says, he's probably going to have to chase around a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, it's essential. It's essential that we play with the 4-2-3-1, really. So Ndombele, it'll be the third game on the bounce. If we keep the same team going into the West Ham game, it will be the third game on the bounce. So it's absolutely vital. But he doesn't have to do too much work. This is the thing. We don't want him to do too much work defensively. You stay up there, son. You have the freedom. You make errors, because he did make errors in the first 25, 30 minutes. I saw a lot of errors, and he was annoying me somewhat again, because he did annoy me against Villa. But look. At the end of the day, it's his second game, I think, in number 10 in the league since last Christmas. And he's a number 10. He's a number 10. So this is his second game not just second game on the bounce. This is his second game in almost 8-9 months, when we know that's his best position. Up until Christmas, we were top. We were top mid-December with Ndombele playing number 10. But for some reason, Sissoko's legs seemed to just go. And we tried to put Ndombele next to Højbjerg. It just didn't work in any way, shape, or form. We tried it this season, the 4-3-3 with Ndombele in centre mid. It just doesn't work. Number 10 is his position. So for the West Ham game, Nuno has to stick with a winning side, not just Ndombele, but I think the first 11. I think the duos in the first 11 we're starting to see some partnerships. Højbjerg, Skip, they've been together a long time. Dyer and Ramiro still needs a lot of work. It does need a lot of work. And then Ndombele and Kane, that's going to be key, because Ndombele is going to put the ball into Kane a lot. That's got to be the plan. So we've got to keep this team together.
Kane and Son, that's a new one, not been done before.
I think
they're doing all right. They're doing all right.
I think Reguilon and Son seem to have a good understanding. Reguilon and Son.
I thought Reguilon was superb. He obviously set up the first goal, the whole medical emergency as well. But I wouldn't say he got Shelby sent off. Shelby got himself sent off, but he'll say he had no choice, but Reguilon had the beating of him, and he had someone in the middle. I can't remember who it was now, but if he hadn't been fouled, he just rolls that across and it's a 1-on-1. But Emerson, I thought, started off really poorly. I mean, he was at fault for the goal in terms of the ball came over to him, should have been easy and just control it and then play the ball. But
I think
he
Joe
still
Linton,
looks good to me going forward.
Yeah, what worries me about Emerson is shit in the air. Joe Linton was up against him with a pot. I don't know if it was on purpose, but he always seemed to be. He always seemed to have Joe Linton about, and he didn't wing a single header. I know Joe Linton's, but even against Maximum, I think it was a couple of times, he seems to be really rubbish in the air, and that worries me, especially if the opposition work it out. They're probably watching this program, Chris, and
yeah, exactly.
We've got one watcher so far, so
the
scout.
But
Jay's undercover. Jay's undercover.
That's it. Yeah, Jay's undercover. But that worries me. He seems to be a bit of shit in the air. So, but yeah, going forward, of course, we've never had an issue with Emerson or Reguilon. It's the defensive side. Reguilon is improving. I think we can see that. But Emerson, man, he just, like I say, he worries me in the air. But at least we've got Doherty.
We're sort of seeing the same deficiencies. Exactly. I mean, we're seeing deficiencies with Reggie, aren't we? Reggie last season, great going forward, coming from La Liga, and Emerson Royal coming from the same league deficiencies. But Reggie looks improved on both fronts for me this season.
I think, though, like Bob says, that skip, we're not going back to, but we've got similarities with the Poch 16-17 season where you had Wanyama and Ndombele kind of marshalling stuff, gave the license for Walker and Rose to go forward without having to concentrate 100% on their defensive responsibilities. They were obviously quick, so they could get back. but you've kind of got that now with Skip and Højbjerg as a kind of a security kind of double position, and like the partnership that was said. Yeah, I mean, Jay, Bob mentioned Joe Linton there. You bought him as a striker. He played as a left kind of winger. He had a few good moments going forward, but he always looks a little bit lost to me because he's a striker playing on the wing. He's the guy looking for the left winger to play the ball to him. But what did you make of him? And you bought him for quite a lot. I think he only plays well against Tottenham, really. I can't really.
He's actually done all right against us. I feel like he's done all right.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally
But you look at Joe Linton, he's got quite isolated more. He needs to be winning them balls down, but he's not a winger. He's better than a winger than a striker because you can get in more in there. But he played well. He played well. For me, I watched a bit of him. He played really well. But he should have scored actually. But chances he had were just stop. He needs to run. He's shooting properly. But for me, he's not worth 40 million. He's about, to me, it's about 10 million, not 40 million for me. He's not.
He got the number 9 shirt taken away from him, didn't he, Joe Linton?
Yeah.
They took the number 9 shirt to Wilson. Now that's humiliating, isn't it? I mean, that's humiliating. Isn't it?
Jay, is it an exaggeration if it was FIFA, right? And you were given all this money, you would give all this money, and you said, right, I want to spend it. You would probably make 10 changes, buy 10 players from yesterday's started lineup. Is that an exaggeration or is that right?
It's right, because it is right, because we need to. The stuff we made yesterday was just shocking. We brought on Jacob Murphy on, but we just look at they just weren't right. The team wasn't right. They weren't talking to the manager. They weren't talking. The fact that players were just shocking. But for me, we need to work on that. Next game we've got Brighton. No, we've got Palace. No, Palace this weekend. We've got Palace away this weekend at Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
If we're getting stuff from there, I don't know what's coming next for us, but we need to win.
Do you think the players could be better with them? Do you think the players could be better with a different manager, or do you think they are that bad and it doesn't matter which manager comes in, that there's still going to be the same issues there?
If we don't get rid of Steve Bruce, same issues again. I said it. Talking to your rival fans the other day about it, because I had some stick off them, some stick about the team, because they weren't happy about it. But I'm not bothered anymore. We're just from the world. As I said to them, your rivals, I said, they want to see it, just say it to me face. I'm bothered.
Yeah.
But we need it. We needed that. But it's there. Yeah, we just need to. If we don't get anything, the team's going to fall apart. This season, we're going to fall apart. Big time.
Do you think the second goal had a bearing on it? Do you think you were... I thought you were under the cosh ever since from 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
But obviously, the first goal goes in, possibly sit back a little bit more. Second one goes in, the VAR decision. Do you think that was kind of a killer blow for you, or do you think it made a blind bit of difference if that was given offside because you were under the cosh?
I don't know, because apparently I thought I hadn't seen the replay of it myself. I don't know what it was. I said it on site. I don't know what the replay actually was. But for me, if Kane was, I think he was onside, because if he was onside or offside, it wouldn't have been the VAR. It would have been a goal anyway, because VAR gets a bit out anyway. So it goes over again. But VAR is always like that for us.
Yeah. Well, I would have to say VAR gave you a pretty harsh penalty against us last season at home. But yeah, I mean, but in that sense, that at the time was the law. That was not a VAR issue. That was a law issue. Which
VAR.
But
you look at it in a way of every VAR decision we had this back game yesterday was just we got robbed, but we couldn't take nothing from it because the referee was just shocking. He wasn't on our side. He was on our side more than our side for most of the game.
What makes you say that?
Because with the red card and all that, and the the best thing was when you call the players away. That was probably the best thing about the referee yesterday for getting the players away for them in the stand for that man. But
Do you think? Sorry, carry on.
Go on.
Do you think the red card was harsh? I can't remember the first decision. The second one was a definite yellow card.
Definitely, second one definitely.
Yeah.
The first one was just a little kick out. It was stupid from Shelby. A little kick out in the corner.
Do you think it was harsh, Jay?
He didn't care. He wanted to be off anyway. He wasn't bothered about it. He just went off. That's it.
Yeah, he didn't seem that bothered, did he?
Nah, we don't remember with him. I think he's just not a good player. He's not worthy of the club anymore. He just needs to go.
He's probably going to be one of the first boys out, isn't he, John Joe? If it's not, this January, it's going to be summer, isn't it? He's gone. He's on
the team, the manager who will get in. This what the team say. Right, this team needs sorting out. It needs sorting out.
Jay, who do you want out first? If you had 2 or 3 players to get out first, I'm guessing John Joe will be one of them. Who are the others? Like if someone was to tell you January, you got 3 players going. Who would it be? I just want to know who Newcastle fans really detest. Basically,
the Cells. He was not a captain at all.
The Sellies.
Yes, he was not. He's not a good captain. He doesn't shout. Richie should be captain. Richie, because he shouts at the players. He shouts up. We can hear him shouting all the time.
I just think without Maximin, it's a championship side. I just think this is a championship side, Newcastle, without Maximin. I really do.
Going back to Shelby, if you're in a relegation battle, you need players you can trust. Shelby just showed yesterday you can't trust him. He's a loose cannon. If you're in a relegation 6-pointer and it's close, you can't be doing that and going down to 10 men.
No. I probably said the 3 players I got up was Shelby, the Cells, and probably be. I would say, for me, I would say Jamal Lewis hasn't been played at all. I mean, played like that. We bought him from Norwich. Why has he been? Guys have been playing. We've been playing. We need him.
Quillo right back, isn't it?
Name of the team. We need him back in the team, but Steve Bruce isn't really bothered. But he isn't bothered anymore. I want him gone.
He just looks so defeated. Like
it's a hard situation for Bruce, isn't he? I mean, he knows he's going. He knows his shit. He knows his players aren't very good.
Because he was standing there in his pockets like a schoolboy. He didn't care. He was standing there going, "Yeah, I'm not bothering anymore. I want to be gone. I'm sacked. He wants to be gone."
Do you think
he's standing by his coffin and he's just waiting for someone to...
Yeah, because he wants the £8 million. He wants the compensation, doesn't he? He's not going to resign. He's just going to resign, is he?
On the parapet waiting for the Grim Reaper to show up. Like.
Yeah. When we had, I reckon Steve Bruce, he's not a manager who doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything. Apparently, little I was saying it the day, he was saying he didn't care. He didn't care anyway. He didn't know what he was doing. Because Graham Jones had to step in for him to tell him.
What I can't believe is, because I agree with you, I think he's a good championship manager. Premiership, I think he's terrible. He's had 1,000 games in management. Unbelievable. But do you think it's a case that he knows he's going, he knows that he's going to get that compensation? If I leave, I get nothing. I've got to stay there, get my £8 million, and then I can go home happy days. Do you think he's just, I'll just stay there until they sack me, because they are? Because some managers, I think, do that, just knowing that they're going to be fired. But the compensation, if one of us got fired in our jobs, we wouldn't get like a treble our wages to go. We'd be, get out and don't come back. Do you think he's just, I'll just keep my money and, it doesn't really matter what happens because they're going to get someone anyway and I'll get my money and happy days and have a holiday?
He will. Because in his interviews, he doesn't care. I watched the interview yesterday, but some interviews he's been having, his press conference on the game, Friday, it was absolutely shocking.
Jay, would you care, mate? Let's be honest. Would you care knowing that you're a dead man walking?
Yeah, he's got to go. Dead man walking.
Where's the motivation? Yeah.
He's a cabbage woman. He can go. I don't want him there.
I
He
thought
came
he
with-
resigned. When I saw the post match, in the middle of it, I watched it. I got there I tuned in halfway through it. I thought he resigned. He had tears in his eyes the way he was talking. I honestly, genuinely thought he just resigned after the
He ain't
game.
resigning,
So,
mate. He
nah,
ain't
he ain't,
resigning.
is he? As we just said, £8 million. He's going to lose that, isn't he? So that's his retirement fund. Because I don't think there's another managerial job for him in the future. I think this is it for him.
There'll be a championship one to get them out of the championship. He's good at getting clubs out of the championship. I think he's had 3 promotions, and certainly he's good at the playoffs. But yeah, Premiership, he's not good enough.
He's not manager for me. I would take a manager. If it was up to me, I would take Dean Smith from Villa. I would take him, or Eddie Howe, or Gerrard. Anybody can come to this club and step out. But need someone.
Eddie Howe's still available, isn't he? Eddie Howe's still available. I can't believe it. But, yeah.
Howe got robbed. He shouldn't have left Bournemouth. He did really well down there. I respect them all. You got to look at every club who already got a season worth happened. But this season for us, we've been crap from day one. We're top of the team. We shouldn't be in the Premier League. We should be top of but out of every season. We're not. We're probably a club, but we need to get rid of the crap.
If you are going to bring a manager in, it's going to be someone who's not in the job at the moment. A Lampard, a Howe.
You need to look for the right lads.
Yeah.
Get the club going. Get rid of the Deadwood. Get new players in. Set them all in and see what happens and so on. But we need someone like that.
Well, Eddie Howe wouldn't be bad because he knows Wilson. He knows obviously Ryan Fraser.
And knows Richie as well.
I think he has Richie, yeah. So
He's a good shout.
Be a bad
Really
one.
good shout.
And he'll play attacking football as well. I mean, that's what he's known for.
I agree with him there. Just looking at our club a minute.
Sam Allardyce is free.
Who's free?
Sam
Didn't
Allardyce.
he already
Big Sam.
manage Newcastle?
He had a stint there, didn't he, at Newcastle?
Yeah.
Lasted about 4 games. Slightly more than his England. Slightly more than his England tenure. But,
His England
not much.
era, I think, lasted only like 1 friendly match or something.
Yeah, I won. Probably more. He was just 10 manager. He wasn't good with the Toon.
Joe Kinnear's free. Joe Kinnear's free.
Oh, mate. Oh, mate.
John Carver's nowadays.
Oh, mate. His interviews were the best. His interviews were the best. Joking here. Like,
Buccaneer or John Carver?
Who's that?
Huh? Sorry?
Carver.
Oh, so
Yeah, Carver. Yeah.
the Carver's interviews, yeah. Was he the one who said, Ed, like, I'm the best manager in the league and then lost like 6 games out of 8?
I think he was Pardew's assistant, and then Pardew got fired and he took over. He was certainly someone's assistant.
Yeah.
They've had some shocking managers. I'm thinking about it. Pardew. So they've had some shockers, haven't they? They really have.
It actually makes you feel sorry for him, like, in fairness.
Dennis Wise, director of football. Dennis Wise, director of football. Remember that?
We had
Yeah,
that
I
right to
remember.
be Egan. But he got us in the Premier League. We should have won that league, right, yeah? Look at what we know. Look at what we had then. By the men's team back on the day when Ken Keegan was in charge.
But you need to be playing. Newcastle need to like us in many ways. It's not just about winning. Well, you can't even win now. But you have to play an attacking front, vibrant football. You need to play attacking football like the mid-90s. I mean, those Liverpool games in the mid-90s were the best games I've seen in the Premier League. They were incredible. Not just Spurs. It's just they were the best games. You need to be on the front foot like us. Nuno's negative style and Mourinho's negative style will not adhere to the fans. We need to be on the front foot. Even if we're losing, if we're 2 or 3-1 up like we have been in the last 2 games, we need to be on the front foot. And that's what's brilliant to see with us. We seem to be changing slowly. But yeah, you guys need a whole new, management team. And you're going to get it. You're going to spend a whole lot of money. People are saying it's going to be £50 million in January. No way. It's going to be triple that. It's going to be close to £200 million because you're not staying up with £50 million. I can't see you staying up. If I'm perfectly honest,
Exactly.
I think you're going to spend. I think you're going to spend a lot. I think you're going to spend a lot of money this January.
We need young talent. Look at what talent we've got in a minute. We've got nothing. The young talent we've got is brilliant, but the first team's crap. We've got the 23s. Bring some of them the club. Bring some of them in. Push them up. Bring some in the team. Show the big players up. Show them up. Get the youth in. We've got new players. We've got that Mexican lad. Bring him in the team. Bring someone into it to actually sort them up. So
Yeah, there's one guy. Yeah, there's one guy. I think I was doing a preview with a chap called John Sinclair. He was saying there's one really good youngster who's attacking. It's probably the Mexican guy he was talking about. So yeah, I don't understand why they don't chuck him in. But yeah, you've got to look at your youth.
Anderson's a good player. Anderson, he's a good player. He's a brilliant good player. Anderson. He's a young lad. He's got good foot on him. But we need something like that. A Mexican lad. Bring him in. But don't bring anyone at the youth team anymore.
Yeah, I think a new manager will, won't they? A new manager will see. Certainly, if the new manager's in before January, we'll see that the players aren't good enough.
Yeah. It's fun to pot. It's fun to pot now.
Yeah. In 2 years' time, you'll laugh about this because if you escape relegation, you'll have spent all your money, a load of money. You'll be a completely different team.
It'll be Champions League mania all over again.
Yeah.
You need to escape relegation this year, and then you'll be fine. And then you'll just go up and up.
Yeah, get all this support a different team. No chance. I'm sticking with United. I'm not going to leave. Support.
Yeah, and Adam, obviously, we mentioned he scored his second goal. I said if we start playing attacking football, we'll see the best out of Kane, and he looked back to his normal self, and fans of 90s wrestling will get this link, but that's got to be Kane there. That has got to be the Harry Kane that we know. He looked back to his hungry self. I mentioned the run he did for Højbjerg, the pass to Son. I don't even think he looked when he got the ball where Son was. He knew instinctively where he was. No thought in his mind other than to ping it over to the 6-yard box, goal. Took his goal like he hasn't missed a step. Do you think we'll see the best of him now again? Do you think he'll go on a run and get back to getting close to the golden boot? Or do you think that was just he had the chances there because it was a poor Newcastle performance?
I mean, look at this Harry Kane. If there's anyone in the whole Premier League who can go on a run, it's him. I don't really see a reason now, as to why he should just come out from that high yesterday and then just slump back down again. I mean, that's just not his style. I think he's slowly. I think he's actually starting to really come out of this this rust he was in now after what happened during the summer and all that stuff. And I think he will definitely get more than a few goals now in the next few months. But I think if Nuno keeps playing this formation and keeps playing this more attacking brand of football, it'll benefit him a lot. And just as long as Son doesn't get injured and then Kane is just left alone up front again, he has a better chance of scoring more goals. This may be a controversial opinion, but I don't think he'll get the golden boot this year. But that does mean he won't score a fair few goals.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Tommy? Obviously, like Adam says there, it's not just him who's benefiting from the attacking play. You could argue Ndombele, Morva, Son, and the team. And obviously, Son's going to benefit from Harry Kane getting more of the ball because Kane got the golden assist last year. But do you think Nuno's kind of seen now that, okay, I need to attack, I need to have an attacking threat because to win games, we're not going to win it by keeping clean sheets and nicking a 1-0 goal. We need to be scoring goals, and to score goals, we need to play attacking to get Son, to get Kane, to get Ndombele, to get more on the ball in attacking, threatening areas. Do you think it'll be not a blueprint, but do you think it's kind of, you mentioned it yourself, he's changed his philosophy. Do you think that's forced his hand into doing that, or do you just think we've had 2 good games where we've got a good amount of the ball to be attacking?
Well, no, that's it as well. That's another thing. That's another development. We need to score 2 or 3 goals a game with this defense. Yeah. We're going to need to. Kane needs to score 15 goals this season. If we're going to get into the top 8, we might even struggle to get into the top 10 if he doesn't get 15 goals. It's going to be absolutely essential. We lose. Ndombele's not going to score that many goals. The goals Ndombele scores are worldies, 25-yard worldies. We can't rely on those every week. And Højbjerg, as good as he is, we can't rely on what he's done against Villa. So Kane needs to score 15, 20 goals. I think it's probably too late for him to win the golden boot. You got, Salah's got a 7-goal head start and stuff like that. It looks like Salah's going to be.
But
thereabouts.
all strikers go on a goal drought, though, at some point, don't they? You could argue that Kane's just had his at the start of the season, and then
And he does.
Salah will have
Traditionally, he
his
does, doesn't
midway
he?
through the season.
Traditionally, he
Well,
starts
not
off
this
poorly as
long,
well,
but yeah,
doesn't he?
certainly in
Not this long,
August.
No, not this long. Not this long. But I don't think he started the first 2 games. So he's had this is his 6th game, something like that. So yeah, I mean, he deserves respect, Kane. I think I think there was a little bit too much disrespect towards him. Look, I know he had his head turned and he wanted to go, and the way he dealt with that was terrible. But this guy, 6-7 years. I mean, 6-7 years of service where he's scoring 20, 25, 30 goals a season. If you look at the cup games, the cup competitions, he deserves respect. And I'm convinced the floodgates will open now. I'm absolutely convinced he will start banging them in on a regular now. You know, Bob, you said you're going to put a bet on. What was it, 20-1? What was that 20-1 bet on? But yeah, I'm going to put that on Kane getting 10 by Christmas. I think another 9 goals by Christmas by the window. I can see that happening.
Oof.
I think he's... yeah, man. So I don't know. That would be like 18 games in. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Crystal Palace just equalised. Good.
Yeah, brilliant. They've been all over Arsenal.
Yeah, man. I was going to put Tommy Arsenal in my fantasy dream team just to piss you off again, Bob. I thought he was going to keep... They're keeping clean sheets, Arsenal, I tell you. They're keeping clean sheets, but it's gone now.
Nothing
Thank
more.
God.
Thank
It's
God.
gone now.
Yeah, thank God it's right.
I mean, in terms of Kane, Bob, what I loved was that the goal went in, VAR decision, VAR decided it was a goal. All the players jumped on him, celebrating with him. So
Yeah.
I queried a little while ago if the players were a bit upset with him and angry with him. Didn't look like that at all. And then there was a bit in the second half where he's a long ball, controlled it. I think the defender let it bounce, but he's controlled it, turned him, got fouled. That's the kind of Kane that you want. And the run-off of Højbjerg that we mentioned, sprinting to get up to Højbjerg, which I said a little while ago after the Arsenal game, Kane isn't not trying because that Arsenal game 3rd goal, he sprinted 70 yards back. If he wasn't bothered, you don't try and rectify your mistakes. It's someone else's problem. So I've never been worried about that. And I thought it was a confidence issue. Villa, he snatched at a couple of chances, but he took that goal lovely. He looked where the keeper was, knew exactly what he wanted to do as soon as he saw the keeper moving. So I'm with Tommy, and I said this a little while ago. If he gets 1 goal in the league, gets that monkey off his back, he'll go on a run. But it obviously needs an attacking play. He's not going to get those 9 goals or 15 goals a season if we're trying to win 1-0 with a Son free kick every game. But do you think we'll play kind of to his attacking strengths and Son's and Morva's and Ndombele's now? Or do you think it'll be slightly different against West Ham? Because West Ham, with no disrespect to Newcastle, are a better team than Newcastle and they're at home. Or do you think it'll be, let's take it to West Ham now? We got certainly 2 of the best forward players in the league. And Ndombele on his day and Moore on his day aren't far behind.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny and Kane are 2 arguably in the world. And, you know, there's 2 things me and Brian Daigle disagree with. You know, first is his love of dwarf sex.
Looking at
his opinion on
who you haven't said who enjoys it. His love. So his love.
Yeah, his love. Yeah,
right. Okay.
His love of he likes people going up on him.
It's a bit unfair. Brian's not here to defend himself.
Oh, he won't. He couldn't defend himself.
He's gonna retaliate on his next stream. About the first thing is about the dwarf porn. It's coming.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
It's an interesting choice. Like I'll say that for him. Like,
no, he loves it. He loves it. But the other thing is Harry Kane. He wanted Harry Kane gone, dropped, and everything. And I've said it right from the off. I absolutely hated what he did earlier on the season. I think it was out of order. I think it was a shit show. The way he reacted, like you know, a little kid who's, but he's the best, one of the best strikers in the world. He's our best player, and he's a player that we need to build around, and we need to play to strengths. And a good Harry Kane means an excellent Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So it's good to see him coming back. It's all about kicking it on now. It's the first time he's done it. He's had a good game in the Premier League. He's obviously scored against Farmers in the Europe in the Conference League. I would say Champions League there, but yeah, it's all about kicking on now. He likes the London derby, so let's see. Let's hope he can do it against West Ham. But there were signs there yesterday. Like you say, the biggest one for me was the way he took the ball down against Clark, and Clark had to go in and get that yellow card because he was outfought and outskilled. Yeah, he looked better. The a few weeks ago, that cross wouldn't have gone in pinpoint to a Sonny. So yeah, it was good. And I think that goal's probably given him a lot of confidence as well. But yeah, successful. We need Harry Kane in the team. First of all, we don't have an alternative. Secondly, like I say, a good on-form Harry Kane will mean Spurs are doing really well because he is one of the best in Europe, if not the best.
Yeah, I mean, 5 goals in 2 games in the league. Not Kane, obviously, the team, and 14 shots at goal yesterday compared to it must have been about 16 against Villa, so 30 in 2 games. Whereas Chelsea and Palace, I could probably count all the chances in that game for us on one hand. So
10 goals in 3 games, Chris. 10 goals in 3 games. Think about
if you count the Binman, yeah. Count the Binman.
10 goals in 3
Yeah,
games.
so, I'm quite hopeful that, not the tide has turned, but the tide has turned in the sense that Nuno's, like Tommy says, has gone a bit away from his let's win 1-0 and Mourinho kind of way. And it's a kind of letting people off the leash a little bit. And certainly that's going to help people like Kane and help people like Son. Because Son and Kane aren't going to flourish at all in that negative way of playing football.
Absolutely.
But yeah, hopefully this is the start of something quite big. Tommy's your latest episode was this is the start of something. So hopefully, it is, and we can go on a run now and start getting into that top 4. Whether we'll get top 4 is a long way off and a long shot. But if you're in the race, you never know, do you? So it's going to be a tough game against West Ham. But yeah, unfortunately, we've kind of come to the end now. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for coming on. Always great talking to you, Tommy and Bob, Adam, Jay.
Thanks, man.
Great having you on. Adam, always on Spurs channels, getting in the comments, liking it, always helps with the channels. I'm sure pretty much any Spurs YouTuber is grateful for your help.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming on. Welcome anytime. Jay, thanks so much for coming on as well. Always great talking about Tottenham with Tottenham fans, but always good as well to talk to a fan of the opposition who we've just played to get the kind of perspective from the other end as well. You've got a YouTube channel as well for people. It will be in the description for people who don't know where it is or how to find it. Tell us a bit about your channel and where people can find it.
Yeah, Retro NUFC on YouTube. It's been a long road to get back on it again because I had a bit of a step back for the summer. I didn't do anything for the top of the season, but I've come back to it. Dragging come back to it. Just come back to it slowly. But yeah, we're trying to stay on YouTube, where to find me. Places got me trying to mean a lot of me. I'm for mental health as well. Mean a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a hard road.
Make sure you go to Jay's channel. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Tommy Talks Ball. I mean, if people don't know now why, everyone knows, Spurs fans know about Tommy Talks Ball, but for people who haven't been paying attention, where can they find your channel?
Yeah, I'm the same as Chris. Basically, we do a lot of similar stuff, and I have Chris on a lot of my shows too. It's great to see Adam for the first time. As you say, Adam's a massive supporter to all channels, so it's brilliant to see Adam for the first time. Yeah. And obviously, Jay, man, don't be too depressed. You've got Mbappe next season. Don't worry, 22, 23, man. Well, maybe not if you're in the championship. Maybe not if you're in the championship, but if you're in the Prem, good things ahead, man. Good things ahead.
Meanwhile, we still have Leaning, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not changing anytime soon. So thanks for having me, Chris. And make sure you smash a like on Chris's channel here. It's completely free. Subscribe, and if you've got time and you haven't subscribed to my channel, jump on mine and subscribe, please. Big up and come on, you Spurs.
Yeah. Excellent. Cheers. Bob, again, similarly, anyone who's been living under the rock, doesn't know about Bob Spur. Anyone who's out of the Rock knows about Bob Spur TV. But where can people find you?
I'm on Bob Spur TV, but like I say, like Tommy's just said, you need to, if you're not subscribed to Chris or Jay or Tommy's balls, you need to get it done. Get it done ASAP. And like Tommy said, if you're free, pop onto mine. And if you do fancy something a bit salty and a bit kinky, please log on to www.dagelsdildosfordwarfs.com and
Just take it down there, brother, right?
Great, yeah.
Pornhub / dwarves. Pornhub / dwarves.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
place to be.
That's it. And,
But for someone who disagrees with Brian, you seem to know an awful lot about the places he goes to, Bob.
Oh,
mate,
have you not seen the stream since they come to Canada? They're in the same room. Brian's there now. Brian must be there now somewhere. He's there now.
He's throwing a couple of dwarves around.
Yeah, excellent, guys. Hit the like on here if you're watching live or watching the replay. Hit the subscribe, then go on to Jay's, Tommy's, Bob's. Do the same thing on theirs. Watch their old content and subscribe, and then you'll get the content each episode they do. It's been a good win. Good win. I won't say too much about it. I don't want to upset Jay too much. But it's been a good win. Hopefully we can get a West Ham one as well, make it 3 out of 3. So until next time, come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out.
Come on, you Spurs. Definitely leave you out.
Spurs.
Always.
Come on, you Spurs.
Tottenham till we die.
Come on, your man.
Thank you so much for watching, for everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments. Before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @LTalkTottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 p.m, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come on, you Spurs!